Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS and the CTKS Method. If you're new, a very warm welcome and welcome back CTKS family. My goal is to assist you in becoming more of a financial and emotional blessing to yourself and those you love through positive excellence. If you like the content, please smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe. We have one of the best communities on YouTube. We look forward to welcoming you into our global family. There are a lot of free resources on CTKSmethod.org. The link is in the description of this video. Let's see where the markets are going in the next 24 hours. And let's run the numbers. Donald Trump has been sworn in as the 47th US president, and true to form, the Trump meme coin and the MELANIA meme coin have been very volatile. Now let's look through what those meme coins have been doing and why they've been going up and down. And of course, we'll look at the rest of the crypto market as well. I'd like to thank everybody for their comments in yesterday's video. Just amazing. When we look at the Trump meme coin, we can see that it came down like literally 50%. And then it jumped up nearly 71% and down 45%. Welcome to crypto. A lot of people have been calling for manipulation of the devs and all sorts of other things. How do we figure out what's actually real? The first thing that we need to look at is to overlay Bitcoin on the particular money chart that you're looking at. Bitcoin's direction seals the directional fate and momentum of the cryptos in the crypto market. For example, if Bitcoin is coming down, you can be assured that you're going to see sell-offs. And if Bitcoin is going up, you can be assured that you're going to see upward price momentum. This is how the crypto market works. We have a rule: no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. It is a very important rule. Now, a lot of people would say, oh, but Ken, it's not following perfectly. It doesn't need to. In fact, the directional movement of Bitcoin just needs to approximate what's going on inside the crypto market, inside your money chart. For example, if Bitcoin was coming down hard like this and Trump was not coming down hard like this, that's something interesting. That's something that we want to pay a lot of attention to. Especially when you get big spikes down or big spikes up, you want to note the difference. The Trump meme coin has gone up quite considerably. Let's look at President Trump's better half, MELANIA. MELANIA was born in 1970, but her meme coin was only born in the past 24 hours. And when we look at it, it's very interesting, isn't it? Okay, so what's happening? Percentage-wise, we can see MELANIA's been on a bit of a roller coaster ride, down around 17.5%, up 30%, down 23%, up 10%, down 46%, ouch, up 41%, down nearly 20%, up nearly 18%. You get the idea. But what was Bitcoin doing? We can see that directional momentum and correlation. This means MELANIA's meme coin is not being manipulated. It's just moving with market sentiment. Unfortunately, if you listen to a lot of influencers from the stock market, they will tell you all sorts of rubbish about how crypto works. Anybody who's been in the crypto space can instantly spot it. But if you're new to the crypto market and you're following your favorite stock market influencer, there is a very large percentage probability that that influencer knows very little to nothing about crypto. Its mechanics, its rules, how it actually works, cross-correlation, intercorrelation, and interconnection. Please be careful who you listen to. Having personally been inside financial markets for nearly 4 decades, of course I started in the stock market and moved into commodities. But one of the things that I love about the crypto market space, where I'm 100% in, no stock market exposure at all, is because this thing trades 24 hours a day. Come on, people, get real. What if Wall Street crashes, for example? Well, the fat cats are going to get out, but you're going to be stuck holding the bag. And the richness and depth of information in the crypto market is something that you would spend so much money trying to get from the stock market, and you can get it free. It's also pretty easy inside the crypto market, aside from the volatility, which you can make your best friend. But you can see Bitcoin, this white line, and these other cryptos. What you can see is when Bitcoin goes down, it pushes all of the other alts beneath it. This is exactly what we would anticipate. But when Bitcoin goes up, they fling back to Bitcoin's gravitational pull. This is incredibly profitable, but you have to change your perspective. Stock market thinking, for example, a bear market is a 20% pullback. Well, that's an average day in crypto. And that's good because this level of volatility can make you an absolute fortune if you know how to leverage it. And for students of the Profiting from CTKS Method structure course, please leave a little bit of feedback in the comments of how you've found the course so far. We want to help as many people as humanly possible. Crypto is incredibly volatile, absolutely, and that volatility is not normal inside financial markets. So a lot of people say, oh, it's a bubble, it's a tulip, it's something else that's got to do with a bubble. And generally those people have very specific vested interests. Or they have a knowledge set which doesn't allow them to see what can be a literal new asset class coming alive right before their eyes. Of course, the people who got into Bitcoin when it was around $1 and now it's currently 103,701, well, they did pretty damn well, didn't they? It does pay to get in early. But you haven't missed the boat whatsoever. And when we look at the different cycles, for example, the 2016 cycle, we're emulating that up and down price action quite well. We could be in store for some fairly explosive price action over the next couple of months, if past cycles play out. But we know everything is structurally driven. What is the structure you'll be talking about, Ken? This structure, and thanks for asking Russian Ken, this structure is all about understanding that there's structural support and structural resistance levels inside the market that we can see already because we have the world's most powerful smart money buy and sell level detection system. That's created through 2 levels of standard certification. Now, what I'll do is to just put on the indicator, which has got this all marked up. Popping on the indicator, we can see that there's a large amount of structural overhead resistance. I'll just put on some figures here. Okay, that's a little bit better. We can see that we challenged in the past 24 hours this 106,039 structural resistance level. We passed through a gravitational well which we will pull back into at around that 102,691, but we came down and found structural support at that 99,798 level. The gaps between structural areas are very, very important. I can't overstate this enough. This negative CTKS gap, for example, when price is above a negative gap like this, it can move down very, very quickly and it can just shake so many people out of positions. But when price is just starting to break up into a positive CTKS gap, it can overshoot gravitational wells and it needs more sellers to crush it down. This applies to any price chart, not just Bitcoin. When you learn to interpret one price chart, you learn to interpret all of them. It is an awesome methodology. So here we can see that we came through that 102,691 gravitational well back to the 106,039 level. That positive CTKS gap gave a structural overshoot, but when we came into all of this structural overhead resistance at that 108,930 level, the sellers were simply too strong and they pushed it down. Remember what was happening with the Trump and MELANIA meme coins? This was happening right across the entire crypto market. You can see when I overlay MELANIA, it's just following the directional momentum of Bitcoin. It's weakening slightly in relationship to Bitcoin strengthening slightly, but this is how gravity works. If you get negative momentum, what you see in all of the alts is a over or under exaggeration. Here we're getting an over exaggeration of negative downward price movements. But it's not manipulation or anything like that. It is a regular day inside the crypto market. Therefore, you can see it's wildly important to know where Bitcoin is going. And this is how I teach inside the Profiting from CTKS Method structure course. There's a very systematic setup that you can do to take advantage of the volatility and directional movement and momentum inside Bitcoin, which actually goes into the alts. But you can imagine if you were just looking at Bitcoin like this and didn't understand the structural levels, you would be thinking, oh, it's being manipulated. Goldman Sachs, all of those big banks, they're manipulating the price. And there's plenty of retail influencers out there that are going to be saying exactly that. And it's not real. There were a ton of liquidations inside the crypto market, and they worked from both levels, both long and short. But the longs disproportionately got whacked in excess of $950 million. And total 24-hour liquidations inside the crypto market, $1.26 billion. The shorts didn't have a field day, $305 million worth of liquidations there. That's what caused all of that choppiness. And when you look at the positions that were liquidated, 378,000. Whoa. One thing that is pretty interesting, you can see across 24 hours it's all longs. When you go to 12-hour, starting to get, duck is ducking for cover. And what about 4 hours? Pretty much long. And now the shorts are starting to get whacked. Just remember, price is always moving in a wave. All of this volatility inside the crypto market points to a retracement inside the major indices, and they're currently closed in the US. Also, we've been noting that the VIX is likely to come up and retest this gravitational well around the 18 level. If it does that, it could actually jump up because Bitcoin has been registering risk-off sentiment. That's why it's been coming down. It has a very good relationship or very bad relationship with the VIX. That is the crypto market. But we would expect any spike in the VIX that causes the stock market or the crypto market to descend will be shortly lived, and we would expect a resumption down. The crypto market, being a much smaller market, overextends and underextends both optimism and pessimism inside the stock market. One of the things that you can see, this blue line is Bitcoin. This is the S&P 500 futures, the NASDAQ futures, the Russell futures, and the Dow futures. You can note how it's moving in directional alignment. Of course, it took off a little bit more, but it can't escape the gravity of the stock market. It's been pulled back into its normalized price path. That's why normalization is such a critical thing to understand. And inside the service, I go through the normalized price paths every single month to give you a perspective of where all the cheat sheet items could go. That's 32 charts that move the markets. It's also a really good idea to look at gold because gold can give you risk on and risk off signals. It can signify geopolitical concerns or problems breaking out, such as pandemics or plandemics. We can see gold is encountering this very light level of structural overhead resistance at 2711. It's being supported at 2706 at the current time. If gold does come down, and it will come down if the yields start to spike up, we would expect the 2698 level to be held. We could get a structural overshoot to the 2688, but that's a very good level, and we would expect any sell-offs to be reflected back into that area. It's critically important to know where your structure is. If you're trading or investing in gold, please note above the 2711 we have a positive CTKS gap, literally up to 2737, and we could get structural overshoot at this level. Basically, you get positive structural attraction from one level of structure to the next level of structure, but if they're light, structural overshoots are very common. When you have fairly large gaps between structural levels that can create a substantial amount of momentum in either direction. In this case, it's positive momentum. If we start to fill this CTKS gap, and we know where they are, we don't need candles to be printed to figure out where fair value gaps are. We know them in advance, and we know them across any price chart, so long as it's been marked up with level 1 and level 2 standard certification. Inside the Profiting from CTKS Method structure course, I talk a lot about the consistent barriers to profitability, and there are so many barriers that people just are not aware of. There are secrets to consistent profitability. There's things that you can do when trades turn against you, and checklists that you can apply before you do anything. It's wildly important to understand directional correlation, and understanding the cheat sheet components is really important. You can use them to predict tops and bottoms in market action. It's very powerful. Have a great day or night ahead, my friends, and Kate and I look forward to catching up with you again in the next video. Bye for now.